August 8th, 2005, Monday morning. At the Banco Central branch in Fortaleza, a heavy steel door swings open. The employees who step into the vault freeze on the spot. When their eyes drop to the floor, what they see is shocking. In the thick concrete floor, a huge, circular hole. Empty cash containers scattered across the ground, and off to the side, energy drink cans knocked over and rolling. From inside the vault, a full 3.5 tons of banknotes have been stolen, roughly 165 million Brazilian reals, about $70 million at that day's exchange rate. This is an unbelievable bank robbery, but there are no guns, no overpowered guards, no footage on the cameras, because no one entered the bank through the door. They came from below, from underground. This is the Banco Central heist of Fortaleza. Let's rewind a few months. Fortaleza is a coastal city in northeastern Brazil with a population of around 2 million. By day, the city swells with tourism and traffic. By night, it sinks into a heavy silence. On one of these streets in May 2005, a small property is rented. The goal is not to live in it. Its facade is quickly painted green and an eye-catching sign goes up on the door. Grama Sintética, Synthetic Grass and Landscaping Company. An ordinary building is turned into a functioning business overnight. During the day, a group of men in work clothes show up. They put a few plants outside the door, a van with a logo parks out front. They hand out brochures, laugh, chat with the neighbors. For the neighborhood, this is no longer a suspicious place. It's a legitimate shop. No one knows that under the carpet in the back room of this company, a narrow tunnel descends underground. And that tunnel is heading straight toward the Banco Central vault across the street. The people behind this fake landscaping firm are not ordinary thieves. Former escapees specialized in tunneling, engineers, mathematicians, and worse, a security guard selling information from the inside. The bank's vault is a storage site for old banknotes withdrawn from circulation in the region. Thick concrete walls, reinforced floors, steel doors, alarms, motion sensors, and cameras. But there is one man who knows this entire system by heart: Ducimar, a former security guard at Banco Central. He sells them everything: the exact location of the cash in the vault, the thickness of the floor, the layout of the steel reinforcement, the camera blind spots, and which sensors are switched off on weekends. Now the thieves know exactly where to dig and exactly where to stop. At night in the back room of the company building, the lights go off, the door is locked, the curtains are drawn, and the floor opens up. First, they go down 4 meters, below the city's sewage lines, just above the groundwater. This depth is no coincidence. They don't want to burst any pipes or have the tunnel flood. Then, a straight line toward the bank, a corridor 78 to 80 meters long running under Avenida Dom Manuel. The width is just 70 centimeters, barely enough for a person to crawl through on their knees. The soil is like the sand on Fortaleza's beaches, easy to dig, easier to collapse. So they build a wooden skeleton along the walls and ceiling of the tunnel, a reinforced underground corridor propped up with thick beams covered in tarps and plastic. In short, a secret construction site beneath the city. No air, no people. No people, no tunnel. The crew brings electricity into the tunnel, light bulbs, cables. From an industrial air conditioner in the office, pipes carry cold air down and fans push the hot air back out. In the summer heat, they create a narrow, breathable work line 4 meters underground. The digging goes on for weeks. In total, they remove around 30 tons of earth. That's about 6 truckloads of dirt. But no one gets suspicious because this is just landscaping work. Every day, the debris leaving the shop looks to the neighbors like nothing more than waste from synthetic grass projects. In reality, it's the physical trace of a bank robbery. Eventually, only 1 meter of concrete remains between the tip of the tunnel and the vault floor. At that point, shovels are no longer enough. The industrial phase begins. The vault floor is roughly 1 meter thick, massive concrete reinforced with steel. At the end of the tunnel, diamond-tipped cutting tools, heavy-duty drills, rotary saws, and a small pneumatic breaker are waiting. No explosives, no blasting the concrete. Just slow, methodical cutting and hollowing. During all of this, no alarm goes off, because the vault cameras at that time don't record. They only provide live monitoring, and the main camera's view is partially blocked by a forklift left inside. The motion sensors? They're disabled on weekends. In short, the bank's security system exists on paper. In reality, it is blind and deaf to this silent attack coming from underground, practically defenseless. And one night, that circular hole punches through the floor. A secret doorway, carved from below, opens into the bank's vault. Friday evening, August 5th. The bank closes. The doors are locked. The guards go home. The lights go out. As the city falls asleep above, the shift underground begins. Around 6 p.m., the thieves move through the tunnel to the underside of the vault. They slip through the hole and climb up into the vault through the opening in the floor. In front of them stand 5 large plastic containers filled with 50 real banknotes. In total, 3.5 tons. From the moment they enter the vault, a 44-hour marathon begins, but every second is a risk. Inside, the crew forms a human chain. First, the containers are opened and the banknotes are shoved into sacks. But they don't use ordinary bags that would attract attention. The money is hidden inside flour and bran sacks. From the outside, it looks like they're just hauling agricultural supplies. Meanwhile, there's a different kind of traffic in the tunnel. A makeshift rail system, plastic containers. On each run through the narrow corridor, one man is pushing almost his own body weight in cash. From there, it all gets loaded into an armored-style vans. No guns, no broken glass, no one even touches the vault door. The operation continues until Saturday morning. Before noon, 3.5 tons of cash are piled up in the back room of that landscaping company. And this is where their professionalism shows. Before leaving the building, they make one last move. They covered the entire office in lime powder, the walls, the floors, the door handles. Why? Not just to wipe away fingerprints, a stray hair, a drop of sweat. They dust everything white to destroy any DNA traces. When they finally walk out, they leave no biological trace. When the calendar turns to Monday, August 8th, the employees who open the vault wear the same blank, stunned expression. How is this possible? When the police arrive, they find the tunnel and raid the company, but the interior is spotless. The lime has covered everything. Detectives are on the verge of giving up.
But there is no such thing as a perfect crime. At the tunnel entrance, a tiny piece of plastic shining in that mound of dust changes everything. A used prepaid phone card. One of the thieves dropped it while escaping. When the police examined the card, they didn't just find a single number. They uncovered the gang's entire communication network. Who called whom, where they met. That tiny card was the black box of the 3.5-ton heist. Thanks to this card, the police discovered that right after the heist, 10 brand new cars had been bought in cash from a dealership in Fortaleza. They tracked the vehicles and stopped a car carrier truck heading for Minas Gerais. The truck driver was calm. He insisted he was only hauling new cars. But when officers looked inside the vehicles, they were stunned. Cash had been stuffed into door panels, under seats, and into the seams of the trunk linings. But from here on, the story stops looking like a simple cops and robbers chase and turns into a dark episode of Narcos. The smell of money reached more than just the federal police. Corrupt officers caught it too. Luis Fernando Ribeiro, believed to be one of the financiers of the heist, was kidnapped 2 months after the robbery. He wasn't taken by a rival gang, he was taken by police officers carrying badges. His family paid the requested ransom of 2 million reales. The deal was simple. They would pay and he would be released. But the corrupt officers decided, if he talks, he takes us down too. And even after pocketing the money, they executed Ribeiro. His body was found on a desolate roadside outside the city with 7 bullet wounds. This heist did not bring them the wealth they had imagined. It brought a bloody curse. They were kidnapped, tortured, forced to buy back their own lives with their own money, and most failed. The result? Years of trials, 129 defendants, a total of 2,452 years of prison sentences. The gang's mastermind, Aleman, was captured. The tunnel expert, Tatuzon, was unmasked. But the real question is, where is the money? According to official records, the recovered cash and seized properties, houses, cars, add up to only around 50 million reales. The remaining 100 million reales are still missing. Gone. Even today, people walk past that green-painted building in Fortaleza and point, the tunnel was dug right there. But the numbers are the easiest part of the story. The real question is this. A bank can protect its walls, its doors, its vault. But what about its floor? What about a single security guard on the inside? What about the alarm system that gets switched off on weekends with a shrug of, nothing will happen anyway? The Fortaleza heist is not just a tunnel dug under a bank. It is a tunnel dug straight through the security stories we tell ourselves around money.